So if you are seeing me live, I want to apologize in advance that I am not able to see. And let's see here. All right, let's give this a try again. All right. Hello, hello, and good morning. I'm going to say it again. Hello, hello, and good morning. I am not quite sure if I am officially live, but I am going to begin in faith that it is. So good morning. I trust you're doing fabulous. I am using an app, a new app, which is funny. I've been kind of playing around to see what apps work and what don't. So if you are joining me, say a hello. I would greatly appreciate it. So I wanted to just share a little bit of a conversation I was having with my daughter this morning because it's so good. It was so, so good. And it all started with her just pointing out an observation with some friends who are very positive and how they get things aligning and things are working out and it just falls into place. And my daughter perceives things as well that way. But she was also pointing out those friends that just tend to complain and expect the worst. And she was authentically just in her own observation, noticing how life showed up differently for each of her friends. And I got into that discussion that, you know, based on my truth and my experience, one of the things that I've come to learn as an individual and now into my adulthood is that our perspective and our expectation of life really gives a glimpse and calls forth different experiences in our lives. And this is not just a spiritual, energetic component. It has an experience. It's also a very psychological experience. And, you know, for me early on, the angels and divine would show me that when I was working with someone, they would work on what they would call the reticular brain. Now, I want to be completely authentic. The understanding fully of it, I can't say that I know or fully understand at this moment. But it's been something that early on has always been said to me, that when I'm working with people and helping them step more into higher possibilities, there's a lot of energetic movement and intervention, divine intervention is what they want me to say, with individuals' reticular brain, area of the brain. What I've come to learn in my own limited human perspective is that that's the part of our brain that helps our conscious, subconscious really, or subconscious focus on certain expectations or outcomes. So for example, if you're someone who expects to see good and light and love and that this universe is friendly and loving and kind, then that part of your brain is going to call forth and take notice, thank you, they're correcting me, is going to take notice of those things outside of you to prove that belief, that idea correct. And one of the things that I know for me, I have had a tendency, and I'm very grateful, you know, whether you call it divine intervention or because I've been blessed with a wonderful mother and father who really encouraged the positive, you know, expectation and positive, you know, interpretation of life and my experiences and our experiences, you know, whatever you choose to call it, it could even be considered divine intervention, even from that perspective of my parents just being wonderful and encouraging that within me. It's been very supportive for my truth and my reality. That doesn't mean I don't have challenges. That doesn't mean things don't happen, but I've learned to really understand and celebrate that everything that shows up in my life has an amazing, thank you, purpose that is helping me further in my truth, in my purpose, and in my own discovery of who I am and who I came to be and how I can better be of service through purpose, through vision, through mission, whatever it is you choose to identify yourself. So when I was talking with her, one of the things that I was helping her to understand that we all ultimately are born with that Pollyanna perspective, as children, even when things are rough and I, my love to those who experience abuse at an early age. So it's like, even those that have had challenge early on in youth, there is a part of them that still chose to see what was positive and possible. And I know this goes into a whole different conversation, which we're not talking and doing now, but what I'm sharing with you is that you were born with this concept and idea that there's good in the world, that there's love in the world, that there's these possibilities available in the world. And regardless of what has been part of your life, and again, I am reiterating, I've had my challenges. I've had things that seem overwhelming and just an overload, including with my child who has medical disabilities, and we've been through the extreme with her. I've come to learn that regardless of what shows up, it is my perspective and my expectation about what's next and what's possible that really determines the final outcome. And as I was sharing with my daughter, we ultimately have a choice within us. We have this most powerful gift of free will within us that offers us the ability to decide, to say yes, to choose, to incorporate, to incorporate the soul's awareness into our day-to-day experience. And that doesn't mean we are or can be perfect at all times, but like I was sharing with a coaching call last night, one of my beautiful angels, I was encouraging her to remember that we ultimately have to commit to be our own superheroes. That doesn't mean we can't depend on others. That doesn't mean that, oh no, it's saying that I might have lost you guys. It doesn't mean that we can't depend on others, and we are encouraged. It's part of our divine appointment to connect with people that are of our own alignment, that are a part of our own soul journey, so that we can step into better and greater versions of ourselves. So it doesn't mean that we can't depend on others, but we also have to commit to being our portal of support. We have to commit to being our own superheroes. And there is a concept and a belief idea out there that, and it's the hero's journey, and you can Google that. The hero's journey is the belief that, all of us go through our own challenges. And one thing that I learned early on, and my understanding of this, I don't know if it was given to me in high school or college, and I don't remember, but one of the things they shared with me is that each of us go through our own unique challenge to offer us the choice and the opportunity to choose, to offer us the opportunity to create, to offer us the opportunity to choose to rebirth, to choose to re-engage higher outcomes that are not in any way part of what has been. We use the past, we use our experiences, our challenges, what has been, to give us the discernment. To give us the clarity into choosing something different and something that would reflect better for us. So in the journey's hero, and again, this is a theory that I can't fully quote, but I can give you my own version of understanding of it, is that on some level, we all go through our challenges. And it is our destiny, which is so freaking exciting, because on some level, we can celebrate that we all came to be winners. We all came to overcome whatever it is we're facing. We are destined to pretty much rise above whatever it is that shows up that feels not so good and what feels magical. Like everything that has crossed our path and is part of our life, it's part of what we are destined to win through, to move through, to elevate from. It's part of our destiny. So that's one way that I like to look at my journey and my own life, is that everything that shows up, the good, the bad, the pretty, the ugly, whatever it might be, I can celebrate that I came ultimately into this life and into this experience with a destiny that offers me the truth that I am a winner, that I am going to succeed, that I'm going to triumph. Because that is ultimately all our souls know. That is what your soul knows, and that's what my soul knows. We came with this, we already came with the arrival, is what they're audibly saying. We each came with our arrival, knowing what's possible, knowing what is attainable, knowing what can be stepped into. We all came with that. And we've played this illusion of the I don't know. I'm not good enough. I can't get there. We've played into the illusion that has been pretty much given to us by society, based on history, based on leadership, based on those that were in some level trying to manipulate in a way that didn't reflect the highest. And you, my friend, my friend, us, we ultimately have this gift within us that is calling us forth into our purpose, into our vision, into what's possible, in that knowing and in that recognition that there's celebration at the end, that there's this knowing within us that we came to triumph, we came to succeed, we came to get this stuff done. And thank you. And I know I'm going left and right here, but one of the things they're saying is like, if something's been given to you, so this is going to be specifically for some people, if something's been given to you, it's because it's meant to be birthed by you. If something's been given to you, a vision, a dream, a calling, a pull, if you have that stirring within, it's been given to you because it's meant to be birthed by you. It's meant to be put out by your presence. It's meant to be offered through your uniqueness. It's meant to be from you, not your neighbor, not the other person who's doing something similar as you, not your trainer, not your mentor, whatever it might be. It's meant to be offered and given through you. And the more you just choose to show up, and the more you choose to celebrate the triumph, the more you choose to really acknowledge that there's something that's pulling you that reflects a destiny where all has been done, all is complete, all is aligned, all is celebrated. The more you step into that, the easier that human mind of yours, right, which tends to have that reptilian habit, to go into survival mode, the more you feed that mind, that spirit, that truth, the more you step into that and cultivate that, my friends, the easier you are going to really welcome that destined arrival that you, within you, know is possible, available, and part of your destiny. So I know I went from one thing to the other, so let me bring it back to the Pollyanna concept and idea and truth that I've come to know. One of my favorite quotes is offered by Einstein. One of the biggest decisions that we make as humans is deciding whether we live in a friendly universe or not. And that is a choice that we each have to make. I know, and it might be you, but I know there's people out there. I know all of us have come across people out there who do not have that perspective that this universe is not friendly. And they have heartache after heartache, and they feel like they have to guard themselves. They have to protect themselves against others, and people just show up in crooked ways or in dishonoring ways. And what happens is that when we have that expectations, we energetically pull it into our life. But let's just say in the human perspective, with the logical component of it, the psychological, your reticular brain, that part of you, allows you to see that outside of you so that it could be proven correct. Part of our human nature, part of our human mind is that it works on our behalf to prove us right. So if you hold a belief that people are going to take advantage, that people aren't going to show up crooked, that things are not going to work out, that people are going to hurt you, that you're not meant to be loved, that there's no good, no, and I'm being reminded of someone that I'm coaching with, that they don't believe that there's an ultimate ideal mate for them out there. What's going to happen? In a human psychological perspective, your brain is going to work on your behalf to prove you right. It wants to prove you right. That's why it's really neat to even go into the research out there that shows people who take time to engage the mind, like they've done it with athletes, they've done it with astronauts, and they've shown and proven that when we cultivate time in engaging the brain and the mind and in visualizing and imagining and like working our physical bodies, things like that, they are actual results that show measurable improvement in the body. And I'm getting my message again. I hope I'm not losing you guys. There is tangible and measurable results that show that the body is benefiting from those visual imagery exercise. So my challenge to you, my inspired action for you today, my invitation is for you to take time today to cultivate a vision that reflects the truth of who you are. a vision that reflects the truth of what is destined to be your arrival, right? A vision that allows you to embody what's possible so that your brain, your human mind can go ahead and begin to work for you in behalf of a belief that supports the truth of the soul, that supports that you are divinely being supported and guided, that supports the truth and the idea that you know deep down inside on a soul level, there is a tribe of light that is guiding you and supporting you. Whether you call it angels, guides, loved ones, God, source, creator, universe, whatever it might be that your human mind chooses to label it, it does not matter. It's about you just saying yes to the fact that it's there, the truth that is there. That has been my truth. I recognize it's going to be unique for all of us. But I hope you choose to accept that challenge and that inspired action and commit to it for the next 5 days. I've seen the extreme. I'm grateful and I celebrate that I work with people and I coach people and I help them connect to their heart's desires and make things happen. And the thing that thrills me the most is when I hear from them, oh my gosh, I didn't actually believe this was possible. And they're like blown away about what can happen. And what I'm sharing with you, and the reason I say that, because I've worked with the extremes and I know that life can change in an instant. I've worked with those who are already experiencing that, and it's like the next level. So what I'm sharing with you is that this is not something that we are like, oh, it's possible, maybe it's possible or attainable. No, I know it's possible. I know it's destined for all of us to arrive at that place and in that point in which we can step into that embodiment of who we ultimately came here to be. And for some people, free will may have them, darting to the left and to the right, avoiding all these things that are trying to get to them and things that are trying to lead them into the next. And for some, they're on that path and they're going with it and they're moving forward with it and they're celebrating with it. Oh, there's my speaker. I've been dancing all morning just because it's been feeling so good. So sorry, that's my speaker going off. So last thing that I want to end with, because I just got shown a vision of it. Oh, thank you. I did want to share a quick story. And this is, where I took something that most people would have identified as negative or bad. And I allowed it to become the most amazing opportunity to step into what I'm doing today. So I was sharing this story with a friend a few days ago, and it was how I started doing sessions, which is so freaking ridiculous and crazy and fun. But I joke that in my past life, I was a race car driver because I am a lot better. I'm not like that anymore. But in my younger years, I did have a heavy foot and I liked to speed, and it was just, I loved it. Anyways, that was in the past. Not now, in the past. That being said, I went and I got a ticket. I got a ticket because I was going over the speed limit. So when it was all done, I was like, oh, I was frustrated. I will be authentic. I was like, oh my gosh, why was I going that fast? Now I have to deal with the ticket, blah, 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 blah. Very short-lived frustration. So my motto, and in my journey, I allow myself to feel everything that comes up. But I have a rule to that. I give it space to express itself within me, and then I choose to see the highest and best of all possibilities, regardless of what's showing up. And that has served me. It has supported me. It has brought me to where I am. It has brought me to where I have been in wonderful and prosperous ways, mentally, physically, abundant-wise, and just on all levels, and spiritually as well. So that being said, so I got a ticket and I said, okay, how can I make this the best opportunity that has happened to me yet? How can I make this work for me, for my family, for my future? How can I make this work? So I decided to take that ticket and give it purpose. And my friends, that's what we're meant to do. Everything that is part of your journey is calling you forth into something greater. Whether you choose to identify it as good or bad, that thing that shows up, it's calling and pulling you to something greater. And I know I already gave you the challenge and I'm going over here, but I really want to emphasize the importance of that. So I chose to identify, how can I make this something epic? How can I make this what allows me to step into who I came here to be? And what I did is that I contacted a local church, also a spiritual location, who's very open and very, aligned with my belief system and divine source, God, and how it serves and supports each of our lives. And I reached out to them and I offered to do community service with readings. I actually asked to see if I could do readings for free as a form of community service and just share divine inspiration, share guidance, and just share love, authentically just share love and help people. And I got a yes. They said yes. So I did that. And the cool thing is that the first 2 days I had people here and there, not a lot of people, but then the word spread very quickly. And people started telling friends and this and that. And I became booked. Like I was booked solid the time that I had set for that. I believe it was like several weeks. I don't remember. It's been a while now. It's been so long. But that whole week I was fully booked because people were talking about it and sharing. And it was like I had no room left in that time for me to meet people. So what happened, I started booking people and getting paid for it outside that frame, that time frame, that community service. And that's how my business launched and started. And it's funny, I get emotional about that. And here I am today, very successful. Well, in my perception, very successful and doing very well, making a difference, showing up, loving people, changing people's lives, as a single mom, supporting, my little ones, and really celebrating a successful business, a successful life, and just feeling amazing and just life looking delicious and yummy all around. But it was that one decision to see that challenge as the best thing that crossed my path. Seeing that challenge as the opportunity that was going to open doors for me and lead me into becoming who I came here to be. It took that one decision. And when I followed through in that one decision, it has led me to where I'm at today and have experienced epic experiences that have really allowed me to serve and show up and really bless thousands and be blessed on all levels, emotionally, again, mentally, physically, abundantly, on all levels. So what can you take today from this conversation and make something magical happen with your day? What is your good? What is your bad? Whatever it might be that's coming up for you today or came for yesterday or in the last few months, whatever it might be. What are you being encouraged? Thank you. Invited to embody. What are you being invited to move into? What are you being invited to create? Who are you being called to become? Because my friend, everything that shows up in your life is calling you to become something amazing. And you have something big to share. You're here for a reason. Our insects, our birds, our animals, they have purpose to keep this ecosystem running and functioning. If what we perceive as most people, I personally celebrate all those things outside that I just talked about. But those things, if divine has given those things a purpose to keep this ecosystem and this world running, could you imagine the light and the purpose you have? What your presence is creating and moving forward in this world. You are needed and you're being called. So take this as a call. You're being called to be all you can be. And you have not missed your mark. You have not missed what for those who feel doubtful about it, you haven't. You're just being invited to identify where else you're being invited to evolve into. Who else are you being invited to become and express through and as? All right, my loves, thank you for joining me live or on replay. And I am going to trust this one through because I have no way of checking. But thank you. And I appreciate whatever part of you called this forth. And I'm grateful for myself, whatever part of me allowed to say yes to that calling. All right. Much love. Take care and have a magical, magical day. Bye.